Attention! Here is something big banks don't want you to know about your IRA or 401k. You can store your retirement savings where you can actually see, touch, and hold it in your hands. With a Paradigm Gold or Silver IRA, you can transfer a portion of your savings to physical gold and silver coin and store them where you can see them. The stock market is close to its all-time high, and your retirement might be at risk again. But you can trust Paradigm Gold Group to help.
Call 800-417-3932. 800-417-3932.
Paradigm Gold Group is a gold IRA leader, rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau, where gold and silver has been in the family business for over 40 years. Call for your free guide to Paradigm's Gold IRA. Protect your retirement savings today with Paradigm.
Call 800-417-3932. 800-417-3932.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casino is now your favorite sportsbook. Available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E. Make your first wager of $20 or more and you'll get $100 in free bets. That's $100 in free bets when your first wager on Borgata Sports is $20 or more. Get into the action with BorgataSports.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to this week's book report, actually the last book report of the year.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I guess it would be.
This is the last book report of the year. Yeah. And, as always, we will be talking about the state and national sports betting reports that come out every month. We've got legislative updates that we discuss. We talk about launches and deals that happen across the country, across the United States, North America, international. But I guess we got to start now with the newest state to launch sports betting, which is Ohio.
I guess that is the big story of the week, right? The big sports betting story of the week is Ohio.
As a matter of fact, it took them a while. A lot of people were kind of questioning whether or not they were going to be able to launch sports betting this year. They have not yet, but they have passed the bill, and Governor DeWine signed it.
It's in state law now.
It's on the books now, and it was actually a lot of people were looking at it as they can't come to an agreement on this. And at the last couple of weeks in November, you started hearing rumblings. At the beginning of December, they actually had the bill, and then everybody voted on it and passed it.
Yeah, it was great.
Once they got their heads together and put everything in the right spot for all the deals, it actually ended up being a very quick process for Ohio.
I think that's going to be a great market, too. It's got some great sport teams in there, great college teams. It's really an outstanding market.
It's one of the most expansive sports betting bills.
Good.
Not only will you be able to place bets on pro sports, you've got college sports, including the in-state colleges and also in-state collegiate athletic events being played in the state.
Good. I wish New Jersey had that.
And you also have esports.
Great.
Esports is all part of the bill.
Awesome.
And I actually took a look at this. Ohio is the 7th biggest U.S. state by population, and it is the 4th biggest to legalize betting behind New York, Pennsylvania, and Illinois.
It's a huge market. It's going to be great for sports betting, and sports betting is going to be great for Ohio. So good for them.
The Ohio sports betting law will allow casinos, sports teams, stadiums, bars, restaurants, all to apply for sports betting licenses.
Great.
They're going to be able to have cell phone, mobile, as well as online wagering in addition to the retail books. And there's a total of more than 50 skins available.
Okay, great.
So we're looking at one of the biggest markets to launch 2022. You're probably going to see this market become one of the bigger ones much, much faster than some of the other states out there.
Oh, it'll be top 5 in no time. And
according to the bill, no one's going to be getting a head start, they said. So I don't know exactly if they're going to hold true to that.
So sports betting will start on one day.
Yeah.
Everyone starts the same day.
Supposedly. That's what they're talking about. I know Louisiana has said that too, and a couple other states do it that way as well. But we'll see exactly what happens. But at the latest, the entire industry will launch by January 1st of 2023. It's going to go earlier. Definitely going to go
at
earlier.
the very late. Let me tell you something. I would guess it might even start before the Super Bowl, especially online, because
they haven't issued the rules and regulations yet.
Maybe not the Super Bowl, maybe March Madness.
I think March Madness would be a better goal
more
for
realistic.
that.
But I mean, especially for online. I mean, they have all the things in place and things like that.
But again,
even kiosks in casinos.
It really depends on how quickly they promulgate the rules and regulations. I mean, if they have those ready to go and they approve them really quick, I mean, I don't know how much time is left in their legislative session here before the end of the year here, but if they actually move pretty quick, they actually could do the Super Bowl, if you think about it.
I think they could move quick.
I mean, Louisiana did it so quick. They did it on Halloween, and everything launched on Halloween.
What are they? They're like the 33rd state in the union, 34th state? What is this?
33rd state, but 34th jurisdiction overall, if you want to call it that. I don't know exactly.
My point in bringing that up is, they can look at 2 other states to see what they do, and certainly states look at other states and see their rules and regulations, see what works and see what doesn't work. So they have 33 or 34 different jurisdictions to look at. So you know what? These rules and regulations should be pretty quickly drawn up.
I would hope so. I would hope so.
You're not reinventing the wheel here.
Well, you also have Ohio is moving quick, and actually one other state is moving just as quick now. It's New York. Yeah. There was a report by a couple different outlets that New York State Assemblyman Gary Pretlow, who introduced that bill to expand it already.
Yeah, right. They haven't gotten mobile yet they're ready to expand it too. So good for them. Hey.
He has told reporters that the agreements with all the servers have been negotiated. That's important because now that the server agreements have been negotiated, the actual launching of the operators is the final step here.
Well, look, they're paying for airtime in New York. Coming out of New York, I listen to New York sports radio. They have, DraftKings coming to New York soon, so you can register now. Then New York Television, I think it was CBS. It was Caesars. They had the thing coming soon to New York. So they're paying for airtime. So it's pretty close.
You got to do that to get your customers
pretty
all
close.
lined up.
Them definitely probably Super Bowl, right?
Well, according to Assemblyman Pretlow, once the servers are up and running and approved, you could see a late January launch.
Yeah, certainly by the
You're
Super
going to be
Bowl,
playoffs,
yeah.
maybe.
Oh, absolutely.
So it'll be interesting to see exactly how quickly New York gets up and running now. One other state that I came across in doing the research for this week's book report, and they've had a kind of an interesting development, and that's Arkansas.
Okay, you're diving deep here in the markets, huh?
Well, it's a matter of they're trying to pass mobile sports betting in Arkansas, or they're in the process of, and they're going to be voting on it with this week, if not early next week.
Okay,
I'm talking about in terms of when this is airing. So when this is airing, they may vote on it. They may be voting on it.
Okay.
But what's going on is there's a proposed rule change that has all the sports books upset.
Oh, okay. All right.
The proposed rule change is that the casinos have to turn over 51% of the sports betting revenue to the state.
Wow, that's a lot.
Well,
you're talking crazy New York numbers with that kind of number.
Well, again, it's a matter of they want it that way. I mean, the casinos are okay with it, looks like. The legislatures are okay with it. The sports books are not okay with it. What's going on in Arkansas is that DraftKings emailed residents in the state regarding online sports betting. They sent an email to the residents saying that the proposed rule change will hurt the industry because they're not allowed to offer the same types of promos, the same types of offers that they have in other states because of this huge revenue share.
I mentioned New York in terms of these numbers. That's exactly what people are saying about New York. New York has a 51% tax rate on sports betting, and a lot of people are saying, you know what, you're going to lose customers to New Jersey because to make a profit or to make it worthwhile, sportsbook operators can't do the same promos and same specials they have for their customers in New York State. And people are going to have to go to New Jersey to get the special promos because the numbers are lower in New Jersey and they can make more money in New Jersey.
The difference between New York and Arkansas, though, is the population.
Sure.
New York's market can withstand that 51% tax rate, I think. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're still going to have some of these junkets, I guess you can call them now, going from New York to New Jersey or New York to Pennsylvania, or even New York to one of the New England states, Connecticut.
Yeah.
You may see that be a new business that pops up. Online sportsbook junkets.
Yeah, I know. Instead of buses going to casinos, buses will be going
to the state line.
Just to the state line or diners or a Starbucks across the border.
The very first freeway rest stop will be a casino.
Yeah, the rest stop. Yeah, just park in a rest stop.
So I think Arkansas is it'll be interesting to watch Arkansas to see whether they back off on that change, but there is a new website and a new Facebook page called Bet on Arkansas that's set up by the sportsbooks to inform people of what's going on.
Okay.
And, like I said, we don't talk about Arkansas too much.
No.
And, we'll see what happens, whether or not they actually get this passed. Moving up the country to Illinois regarding some legislative updates here. Illinois Governor Pritzker has signed House Bill 3136, which allows for wagering on in-state colleges in person. It's retail, only, no mobile.
All right.
Sets March 5th as the start date for remote sports betting registration. They're going to remove the in-person registration requirement on March 5th.
Good.
And then the bill also makes Wintrust Arena eligible to apply for a sports wagering sports facility license.
Okay.
That's kind of important because it's the first female-owned operation there, because the WNBA team.
Great.
That would be applying for it.
Yeah, good for them.
Let's talk some records here. We had
records.
We had a couple different states reporting their numbers, and Pennsylvania.
Yes, very good month for sports betting.
Pennsylvania had the November numbers reported. It was kind of a good handle, $761 million. But the important thing was they actually set a record. They are the first state to clear $20 million in taxes in a month.
And that's why states have sports betting, for the tax revenue. And Pennsylvania hit it out of the park in November.
It's kind of really impressive that they are the first. I would have thought somebody else would have hit that one. I mean, maybe I'm surprised New Jersey hasn't hit that one yet.
Yeah.
That may be the only thing New Jersey hasn't hit.
I can tell you one thing. New York's going to hit it with its tax rate.
Oh yeah,
New York's going to break that record.
And also, Pennsylvania is the first state to clear $200 million in taxes in the post-PASPA era.
Wow, that's great.
Kind of a little feather in their cap there. I mean,
absolutely.
They're sitting next to the new juggernaut, which is Jersey.
Well, look, that's why states have sports betting, to get these figures.
And not to be, we just talked about New York with their 51% sports betting. They just set a revenue record for themselves.
Okay.
$3.956 million in sports betting revenue for New York. That's just with the current state of things. There's no other mobile sports betting launch. There's only the 4 upstate casinos that have sports betting.
Yes.
That's retail. That's why it's kind of a small number in terms of, in the grand scheme of things, it's a small number.
Well, in the next couple of years, I think New York City or the New York City metropolitan area are going to have some casinos. I think there are 3 licenses being given out.
We'll see what happens there. But,
and also possibly the Meadowlands in New Jersey might have a casino. So
very well could be.
New York and New Jersey are really going to town in this thing.
South Dakota also reported their November numbers, and while we're not directly going to be talking about their numbers, I have to give a little hat tip to Chris Altruda over at US Bets Better Collective.
Sure.
He dug out these 2 little nuggets, and I thought these were too interesting to pass up to talk about. Since the launch of the South Dakota sports betting, NHL payouts totaled $21,000 on $13,000 wagered. Somebody knows hockey there.
Okay.
And no one has won a PGA bet since the launch.
Okay.
That's kind of an interesting
South
little
Dakota's
note there.
not big on golf.
I don't know. I mean,
I guess it's a cold state, so it means hockey's big there.
It's not a big sample size. It's only $900 worth
sure.
of betting on golf there. But yeah, I thought it was just such kind of a interesting little.
Is that the
nugget
one
to throw
where
out
South
there.
Dakota? It's only in Deadwood.
It's only in Deadwood,
Is that-
and it's only retail
Okay.
on the premises. So
Okay.
yeah, it's a very limited market there. Going over to some deals, and I think since we talked about Ohio at the top of the show here, got to talk about the very first deal that came out of this, and that's Rush Street Interactive doing a deal with the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company for a retail sports betting location at the Hall of Fame Village.
Yep, that was this week's interview on Turnpike.
That's going to be a very interesting sports book, and also
It should be a blast. That whole property is going to be great.
they've gotten access to not only the logos and the IP for the Hall of Fame and all that. They also have access to the Hall of Fame members.
Great, yeah.
So we may see some very interesting commercials, very interesting events happening
I
at
can't
the
wait.
sportsbook.
I mean, look, I went there in 2005 to see Dan Marino get sworn in because our friend was a big Dan Marino fan, and he brought everyone out to Canton, Ohio to see it. And it was an amazing facility. And what they're creating now, I wish they had it when we were there because,
There's not much to do outside of the Hall of Fame.
Canton's a great city, a great town, but you know what? It's after the Hall of Fame, you're kind of looking for things to do. And with this new property being created with the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company, I think it's going to be an incredible experience when you visit the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
In all fairness to Canton, we did not experience the Canton nightlife, whatever that would be.
Yeah,
so
I
maybe they have a great club scene. I don't know.
I don't know.
But, again.
We played golf in Sharon, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. But again, looking forward to seeing it's a 10-year deal. And I'm wondering if we're going to see another deal coming down the road for the Hall of Fame Village because they're allowed multiple skins. I think two.
Hey,
so we'll see exactly what
keep
happens
it
there.
going.
And I'm curious, is it going to be a Play Sugar House or a Bet Rivers?
I don't know.
Hasn't been announced yet. So
I've seen Play Sugar House everywhere. I saw Play Sugar House in Connecticut.
well, that was the deal with the Connecticut Lottery.
Yep.
I don't know what they're going to do here. It may be a Hall of Fame branded sports book just run by
That'd be
RSI.
great.
So it could be. Have to see exactly how
knows?
that develops,
Yeah.
but it'll be fun to watch. Caesars did a deal with former NBA 2K TV host Rachel Demita to do some content. First time I've ever heard of an NBA 2K host.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that is. She's one of those announcers that I would know her if I saw her.
I've never watched the NBA 2K highlight show, so I wouldn't know her. But again, they did a deal with that with her. Let's see. Desert Diamond is going to be launching a Desert Diamond branded mobile sports betting app and also a retail book in Arizona. You've got, let's see, Fubo has launched in Arizona.
Okay.
That's their second state in which the sportsbook is available. They also have market access agreements in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Indiana. They're already live in Iowa. Colorado, we had Monarch Casino. We had the head of that company on the show in the past.
Yeah, last year, I think.
Yeah, Fahari.
Yes.
And they have announced that the Bet Monarch retail book is now open
Nice.
in the
Okay.
Monarch Casino.
It looks beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
And finally, for the final note of the year, BetMGM has announced the launch of the BetMGM horse racing mobile app in 2 more states. They are now live in Florida and Louisiana.
Are they live in New Jersey?
They are not live in New Jersey yet. They, I believe they are live in Michigan. Oh, and one other quick little note. Wisconsin now has a second sports betting compact between the state and the St. Croix Chippewa Indians, just awaiting final verdict by the Department of Interior. Speaking of Department of Interior, we'll see what happens down in Florida coming up.
Yeah, that went so well in Florida.
Yeah, so but that's it for this final episode of 2021 for the book report. As always, send in your news releases, your news and notes, info at turnpikesportsradio.com, and we'll be sure and include them in the book report in the future. Plus, you will see the print version, which has many more stories, on our blog, turnpikesportsradio.com. Click on the blog button. You'll see it there. And don't forget, on the TV side, we have our news ticker, which is showing even additional stories on the TV side of the show.
And that'll do it for us this week. Happy New Year, everyone. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.